da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Leaving the Comox Valley should be easy. There's literally a ferry right here in Comox that can take me across to Powell River and the Sunshine Coast. All I have to do is drive onto it. Simple, right? Well, apparently I have the same problem Michael Corleone had in The Godfather Part 3. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. That's pretty much sums up my relationship with the Comox Valley. I came here planning to stay 3 days. 3 days turned into a week, then 2 weeks, and somehow I've now been here for a month. And every time I decide it's finally time to leave, I discover another beach, another forest trail, another swimming hole, another little community, and I think, well, maybe just one more day. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. You have the ocean on one side, mountains on the other, beautiful beaches everywhere, and you're sitting almost perfectly in the middle of Vancouver Island. Victoria to the south, Tofino across the island, Port Hardy to the north, and the islands of the Salish Sea right at your doorstep. So this week I'm finally going to try to do something that has proven surprisingly difficult. Leave the Comox Valley. Or at least that's the plan. Courtenay, Comox, and Cumberland form the three main communities of the Comox Valley, surrounded by rich farmland that stretches across the valley floor between the mountains and the sea.
But before we dive into today's episode, we have some breaking news about the Northwest Pacific beaver.
The taming of the Northwest Pacific beaver has never been attempted. Until now. Research indicates that its favorite delicacy is the humble banana peel. So this should be easy. Apparently not. One YouTuber was foolish enough to attempt the impossible, taming not one, but two Northwest Pacific beavers. Surprisingly, both beavers immediately rejected the banana peel, seeing straight through his poorly conceived ruse. Desperate for a breakthrough, the YouTuber decided to try a more direct approach, something absolutely no trained professional would ever recommend. Predictably, this proved to be a terrible idea. The female Northwest Pacific beaver promptly bit the idiotic YouTuber on the calf, then turned around and completely ignored him. Humiliating. What happened next, however, was extraordinary. We witnessed an extremely rare event, the lightning-fast rotation of the beaver's neck. The movement happened so quickly that we've slowed the footage down 1,000 times so the human eye can comprehend it, still refusing to accept defeat or basic common sense. The YouTuber once again attempted to touch the female. He was immediately met with her unmistakable defensive warning cry, captured here for the first time in recorded history. Probably. For one final attempt at interspecies diplomacy, the increasingly desperate YouTuber entered the water and challenged the female to follow him into the deep blue. And then, at last, progress. A touch of the tail. Following this extraordinary encounter, the female retired to rest while the male remained nearby, keeping watch over the strange, hairless primate who had apparently invaded their territory. Future historians may look back on this moment as one of mankind's greatest achievements, perhaps even more significant than landing on the moon. One small beaver pet for man. One giant leap for mankind.
I hope we all have learned something today. You're welcome.
Hey guys, I need to take a moment to acknowledge two people that are the reason why I've been unable to leave the Comox Valley. Damn you! Just kidding. They are two subscribers, and when I was still in Calgary or in Montana, Ben wrote me and he said, hey, I don't know if you know about the Comox Valley, but if you're coming on Vancouver Island, come and see, you're welcome to come and, stay at our place for a few days. And I was with Vincent, and we did. So this thing changed everything. They invited us onto their property. I was able to park my van there. Vincent had his tent, and it was so great. They welcome us with a beautiful dinner, and it's just, I don't know, and it's just surprising.
And
They're not leaving.
that's Jose. Bonjour, Jose.
To me, that someone can, out of the blue, just open their house, their home, their land, their heart to us, really. And then Ben invited me to go to Campbell Valley to go look at some waves.
Okay, have a great day, man.
Orcas love French Canadians.
Today because it's very, very windy and certain. So yeah, if you have a baseball cap, it's a good idea to put it river.
He was trying to test me if I was worthy of Vancouver Island, because I'm telling you, Ben is like a Viking. He's a Vancouver Island man, a businessman in the area, and he knows the island like his back pocket. Him and Jose just do. And so we went whale watching, and we were dressed like what I can compare to a snowmobile suit out in Canada and in Quebec. And the sea was angry, my friend. The sea was really angry. So it was very bumpy. I looked like a total idiot. Look at me here with my hat in my face. And Ben is like, oh, what a beautiful day, you know. The wind wanted to just rip you apart. And I'm, zip up all the way up. And Ben is all zipped down because I guess it's hot again. So wonderful. And we did see some whales, so it was just wonderful. We did not see many, but at least we saw a few tails, and it was a beautiful trip just to, even though it was very choppy, the Strait of Georgia was just beautiful with all the islands. So Ben, thank you. Jose, thank you so much.
Cumberland might be the smallest of the three main communities in the Comox Valley, but it may also have the most fascinating history. Long before European settlement, this area was part of the traditional territory cared by the Comox people. The name Comox is often translated as land of plenty or abundance, something that still feels pretty appropriate when you look around this valley. Cumberland's modern story really began with coal. Coal was discovered near Comox Lake in the 1850s, and the community that developed here was originally called Union. It was later renamed Cumberland after the coal mining region of Cumberland in England. By the late 1800s, this had become a major mining town. 8 different mines were developed around the area, attracting workers from Britain, Europe, China, Japan, and many other parts of the world. And here's something I certainly didn't know. Towards the end of First World War, Cumberland's Chinatown had grown to become one of the most significant Chinese communities in Canada. There were also a large Japanese community here until Japanese Canadians were forcibly removed during the internment of 1942. Coal mining continued here until the 1960s. Today, Cumberland has reinvented itself completely. Instead of miners heading underground, you're much more likely to see mountain bikers disappearing into the forest. The surrounding trail network has become internationally known for mountain biking and hiking. Walk along Dunsmuir Avenue today, and you can still see that old mining town character in the buildings and houses. Personally, it reminds me of a cowboy town. Cumberland is a great example of a place that didn't erase its past to create a new future. It simply built the next chapter on top of it. And that's pretty cool.
I'm on the shore of Comox Lake.
very quiet tonight compared to the winds we had yesterday. The dogs are happy because they're leash free. Sam is always up to some shenanigans. He's been there like 15 times trying to figure out a way to climb that tree. Because that squirrel that's laughing in his face, at his face, in his face, he's up there. Where is it, Sam? I'm not in charge of the squirrel population, Abby. He's just so much more of a hunting personality than this big girl there. Hey, big girl. Hey, big girl. You're not big. You're muscular. That's what? I'm sorry. And I'm just enjoying the sun setting slowly. Then we have Comox. And of the three communities, it is the one that really feels connected to the ocean. Comox sit on a protected harbor on the eastern side of Vancouver Island, and the harbor has shaped this town almost from the beginning. Long before the European settlement, these waters and lands were home to the indigenous peoples of the region, and the name Comox comes from Comox, associated with the idea of abundance and land of plenty. I know I told you earlier, but I just thought a reminder would be cool. In the 1800s, Comox Harbor was actually known as Port Augusta. Its protected deep water made it valuable to the Royal Navy and eventually to the steamships that connected Vancouver Island's small communities. Before there was a practical road connecting this area south towards Nanaimo and Victoria, the capital of BC. The harbor was essentially Comox Highway. Ships brought passengers, mail, livestock, medical supplies, and just about everything else people needed. That connection with the sea is still everywhere today. Comox has 4 marinas, more than 500 pleasure boats, a commercial fishing fleet, and one of the most protected year-round harbors on Vancouver Island. It's also home to the 19-wing Comox, or Comox, the Royal Canadian Air Force Base, as well as the Comox Valley Airport. Comox was officially incorporated as a village in 1946, which means that in 2026 it celebrated its 80th anniversary. 80 years later, it still feels like what it has probably always been at heart, a small town looking out towards the sea. Somebody painted this on driftwood. That's right, beechwood. Just there. I just think it's cool. Beautiful day once again in the Comox Valley. I'm in the Comox area still. And I have 2 very happy camper dogs. Just leash free in the sun by the ocean. How cool is that? Goose Spit Park is one of those places that seems to have a little bit of everything. Beach, mountains, wildlife, and some pretty spectacular view across the water. The spit itself is a natural sand formation that helps create Comox Harbor, with a protected lagoon on one side and the open Salish Sea on the other. In summer, it's a favorite spot for swimming and paddling, while fall and winter brings out the kiteboarders. And every spring, migrating Brent geese stop here to rest and feed. Not bad for what basically looks like a skinny strip of sand sticking out of the ocean. Another little jewel of the Comox Valley. Guys, there are 9 primary distinct geographic beach areas that define the coastline in and around Comox and the immediate Comox Valley. There are 24 distinct beach access pathways across this whole area, and I spent so many days since I've been here a month, sometimes spending 3, 4, 5 hours going each day to a different beach, enjoying the afternoon, walking the dogs every hour like I always do when I'm working, and just taking it all in. And during the week, there's hardly anyone there, even if it's summertime. It was like having the whole place, each beach, for myself, compared to the vastness of it. So I so enjoyed the Comox Valley for that reason and many others. Right in the heart of Comox, Marina Park is really the town's front porch on the water. It sits beside Comox Harbor and the municipal marina, with beautiful views towards the Beaufort Mountains, and the Comox Glacier. The park has a waterfront promenade, large open lawns and playground and splash parks, picnic areas, food trucks in the summer, and direct access to the marina and boat launch. This harbor is more than just a pretty scenery. Comox is home, as I said earlier, to 4 marinas with more than 500 pleasure boats, along with a working commercial fishing fleet. And it's protected by Goose Spit that we just saw and surrounding breakwater. It's considered one of the safest year-round harbors on Vancouver Island. For me, Marina Park is one of those places where you can grab a coffee, sit by the water, watch the boats come and go, and very quickly understand why Comox has such an easygoing coastal feel. Yep. Most of the garbage cans have a dual purpose, in this case 3. The money collected here from the recycle goes to charity. But in this case, they're displaying the history of Comox. And it becomes something to look at. And who looks at garbage cans usually? Not me. I hope not you. So I am at Nymph Falls Park, and we're going to see the river, but look at that. Where do you see that type of signs? Unleashed dogs permitted. Oh, so cool. Alright guys, let's go. Just a few minutes outside Courtenay, Nymph Falls Nature Park feels like another world. More than 150 acres of forest surround the beautiful Puntledge River, with trails winding through Douglas fir, western hemlock, and red cedar trees. But in the summertime, it's the river that's the star. The glacier water becomes calmer, incredibly clear, and refreshingly cool, creating natural swimming holes and pools among the smooth rock formations. Steps from downstream from the falls lead directly to these clear pools, making this place the area's most popular to cool off on a hot summer day. And if you're traveling with dogs, like van life and paws, this place gets even better. Nymph Falls has off-leash trails, and leashing is optional, as long as your dog stays close and under control, of course. So for Abby and Sam, it meant forest trails, freedom to explore, and a chance to cool down in the river. For me, this is another reminder of what makes the Comox Valley so special. Sometimes the best places are the ones where everyone, including the dogs, gets to have a little adventure. I'm on a blueberry farm right now. There's no blueberries here. Joanna. Thanks, Joanna.
My favorite's the strawberry mango froyo.
So I'm on a blueberry farm right now, and they make also their own blueberry ice creams. And it's just, of course, it's Ben who brought me here, forcing me to do content. And I wanna ask you a question. In Quebec, the blueberries are picked really close to the ground, and here they're like trees. How are the blueberries in your neck of the woods? I mean, those are much taller than me. So let me know. Fresh cream, put in a machine with fresh blueberries, and you get something so delicious that you have to put it in an episode. Cheers. Courtenay is the largest of the three main communities in the Comox Valley, and in many ways, it's the valley's commercial and service center. While Comox has more of that seaside town feeling and Cumberland has its historic village character, Courtenay is where much of the valley comes to work, shop, and take care of everyday life. It's home to the regional hospital, major shopping areas, professional and government services, recreation facilities, restaurants, and many of the businesses serving not only Courtenay, but also residents of Comox, Cumberland, and the surrounding rural communities. Courtenay still manages to keep a small-town personality. Downtown, especially around 5th Street, you'll find independent shops, cafes, and restaurants, while just a few minutes away, you can be walking beside the Courtenay River and surrounded by farmland. So Courtenay really plays an important role here. It may not always be the quietest part of the Comox Valley, but in many ways, it's the place that keeps the whole valley moving. I never expected to fall in love with Vancouver Island the way I did, and especially with the Comox Valley. There's just something about this place. Its location makes it an incredible home base for exploring the island, and at the same time you have all the services you need to make everyday life easy and convenient. Then, of course, there are the beaches, the mountains, the kind people, and the sense of safety I felt the entire time I was here. And staying at Kin Beach Provincial Park made the experience even more special. This place has definitely left an impression on me. So yes, I'm leaving, but I'll be back. That I know for sure. And if you've never been to Vancouver Island, whether you're from Canada, the US, or somewhere else, put it on your list. Come here. Take your time and experience it for yourself.